There are certain things that INFJs do that seem to defy logic and leave people completely shocked. These are not random quirks, but deep expressions of how their rare personality is structured. INFJs move through life with an awareness that is so sharp, so inwardly alive, that people often find themselves amazed, confused, or even unsettled by the things they can perceive and do without explanation. One of the most shocking things about INFJs is how they can see through people, not just in a casual sense, but in a way that feels almost supernatural. They notice micro-expressions, tone shifts, pauses in speech, and even emotional undercurrents that others miss completely. It's as if they carry a built-in emotional radar that constantly scans and decodes hidden motives, unspoken pain, and silent desires. People are often stunned when an INFJ accurately describes how they feel without ever being told. They can recognize heartbreak beneath a smile. Many who encounter this gift describe it as eerie, yet profoundly healing, because INFJs have a way of making people feel seen at depths they never show to anyone. If you want to truly understand yourself and unlock your full potential as an INFJ, check out the INFJ Mastery Course today. The link is in the description of this video. INFJs can disappear from someone's life, suddenly, quietly, and completely, without any warning. This infamous INFJ door slam is not about hatred or coldness. It's a self-preservation mechanism. When an INFJ feels betrayed, manipulated, or emotionally drained beyond repair, they retreat behind an invisible wall. They don't scream or argue. They vanish. For those who once felt close to them, it feels like losing access to a sacred part of the universe. What makes it more shocking is that the INFJ will still care deeply, even after walking away. Their silence is not indifference. It's pain wrapped in peace. INFJs can switch from calm gentleness to fierce conviction when something violates their sense of truth or justice. They might seem soft-spoken and reserved, but when their values are crossed, something powerful awakens in them. Their eyes sharpen, their voice steadies, and their words cut like a blade of truth. People who underestimated their quiet nature are often shocked at how commanding an INFJ's presence becomes when they stand for what they believe in. They don't need to shout to be heard. Their passion and moral clarity shake the room. They can endure loneliness without breaking. They live in their own inner world of thoughts, dreams, and meanings that most people never see. While others crave constant stimulation, INFJs can sit in silence for hours, lost in deep reflection. They can detach from the chaos of the world and recharge in solitude, not because they hate people, but because they need to recalibrate their emotional balance. This tendency often confuses those who mistake their quiet withdrawals for depression or disinterest. But for INFJs, solitude is sacred. It's where they find clarity and spiritual alignment. INFJs can adapt and mirror energy so perfectly that they blend into almost any crowd. They can be extroverted when the moment demands it, lighting up conversations with wit and insight, yet they can also retreat into introspection like monks. People often think they truly know the INFJ until they realize there are layers upon layers they've never seen. It's not manipulation, it's empathy at work. The INFJ instinctively tunes themselves to others, reflecting back what's needed for comfort or connection. But what shocks everyone is that beneath all that mirroring, there's a part of the INFJ that remains untouched, a private world no one can fully enter. They remember the smallest, most intimate details of others. They might recall the exact words someone said years ago during a vulnerable moment or a minor preference mentioned in passing. This level of emotional memory can be overwhelming to those who experience it. It's not about obsession. It's about genuine care. The INFJ mind catalogs emotional moments like sacred fragments, revisiting them to understand, to empathize, and sometimes to heal others through remembrance. When they bring up something from long ago, people are often stunned. Not just that the INFJ remembered, but that they cared enough to. They have a paradoxical combination of idealism and realism. They dream big of a better world, deeper love, truer peace. Yet they see reality for exactly what it is. They can hold contradictions in their mind without collapsing into cynicism. This dual vision allows them to inspire others while staying grounded. They can look at a broken system, a damaged person, or an impossible goal, and still see potential for redemption. Their optimism isn't naive. It's conscious and chosen, a kind of quiet rebellion against despair. And when people witness that strength wrapped in gentleness, it changes them. They can appear calm while burning with emotion inside. Their composure under pressure is unmatched. They can be heartbroken, angry, or terrified, and still handle situations with grace. They rarely explode, but when they do, it's usually after long periods of silent endurance. Their control can make others forget that they have limits. Yet, their emotional storms are not weakness. They are evidence of their depth. An INFJ feels life like music, in crescendos and silences, in intensity and release. They can predict patterns before they unfold. Because their intuition constantly processes emotional and social data, they often know what's coming long before it happens. They might warn a friend about someone's true intentions, or sense a shift in a relationship before words confirm it. When these intuitive predictions come true, people are often left amazed, even spooked. INFJs can't always explain how they know. They just know. It's as if their subconscious mind weaves information in a quiet revelation. INFJs hide their deepest pain while helping others heal theirs. They can be everyone's confidant, the one who listens, counsels, and comforts. Yet no one truly knows how much they carry inside. They absorb emotional burdens like sponges, silently enduring so others can feel lighter. What shocks people is how effortlessly they give without expecting anything in return. But behind that strength lies a quiet longing to be understood as deeply as they understand others. INFJs can transform pain into purpose. Every heartbreak, betrayal, and disappointment becomes fuel for empathy, art, or advocacy. They don't waste their suffering. They transmute it into light. When others would break, the INFJ bends, learns, and rises stronger. People often wonder how they remain so compassionate in a world that often wounds them. The answer lies in their heart, a heart that sees brokenness as proof of humanity and healing as its ultimate calling. INFJs can love with an intensity that seems too deep for this world, yet detach completely when it's time to let go. They love from the soul, not from the surface. When they give their heart to someone, it's not a casual gesture, it's a sacred offering. Their affection is filled with layers of spiritual connection, emotional understanding, and silent devotion. But what leaves people dumbfounded is how, after being deeply in love, an INFJ can suddenly withdraw all that warmth and vanish like it was never there. It's not out of spite. It's because they know when something has run its course. They can grieve quietly, heal privately, and then walk away without bitterness. Their ability to switch from complete emotional immersion to detached serenity feels almost impossible to others, but it's their way of preserving their peace and protecting their soul. People are also shocked by how INFJs can live double lives, not in a deceitful sense, but in how they exist on two levels simultaneously. On the outside, they seem grounded in everyday routines, blending in easily at work, school, or social circles. But inside, there's a vast inner world, a universe of ideas, emotions, and visions so rich it could be mistaken for another dimension. While others see them as reserved or quiet, their minds are constantly weaving meaning out of patterns, contemplating the fate of humanity, or dreaming up stories that could move hearts. The INFJ's inner world is so alive and vivid that reality sometimes feels like a pale shadow of it. People sense this difference, that even when the INFJ is right beside them, part of them is somewhere else entirely, and it both intrigues and bewilders them. INFJs can make people feel seen, yet remain completely unseen themselves. They draw out others effortlessly, asking the right questions, listening with warmth and depth that feels almost therapeutic. People end up confessing their secrets, their regrets, even their fears, often without realizing how much they've said. But when it comes to the INFJ's own life, the curtain never quite lifts. They can talk for hours and leave others thinking they've shared something personal, only to realize later that they didn't actually reveal much at all. This balance of openness and secrecy is part of their magic. It's what makes them endlessly intriguing, yet impossible to fully grasp. They can walk into a chaotic environment, whether it's a heated argument, a broken family situation, or a panicked workplace, and bring instant calm. They have this grounding energy that diffuses tension like light breaking through a storm. It's not manipulation, it's emotional alchemy. They intuitively sense what each person needs: reassurance, silence, empathy, or firmness, and they give it without forcing anything. Their mere presence can soothe anxiety or inspire cooperation. Many times, they become peacemakers without even trying. The irony is that they often carry their own quiet turmoil inside, yet they know how to turn that inner stillness outward when others need peace. They often live with contradictions that coexist harmoniously within them. They crave deep connection, yet guard their solitude fiercely. They believe in the good in people, yet have a razor-sharp sense for deceit. They can be idealistic dreamers and pragmatic realists in the same breath. This duality confuses people who expect consistency, but to an INFJ, it's perfectly natural. Life is full of paradoxes, and they are built to hold them all at once. Their minds can balance emotion with logic, faith with reason, imagination with reality. To others, it feels like they are one person on Monday and another on Friday, but in truth, the INFJ is simply multidimensional, a living reflection of depth and duality. INFJs can be deeply spiritual without being bound to traditional religion. They experience faith not as rules or rituals, but as a living energy that connects all things. Many INFJs have mystical experiences they can't quite explain, moments of sudden knowing, dreams that come true, or feelings that guide them toward or away from something long before reason catches up. Their spirituality often manifests in quiet ways, in how they love, how they forgive, and how they find meaning in suffering. Others might call it intuition or divine alignment, but for INFJs, it's simply the way their soul navigates the unseen. They can appear fragile, but are actually incredibly strong. Their softness is not weakness, it's refined resilience. They can survive heartbreak, betrayal, and loss without becoming bitter. They may cry in secret, but they rise with renewed grace every time. People underestimate them because they seem gentle or non-confrontational, only to realize later that INFJs are among the toughest souls they've ever met. Their endurance isn't loud. It's quiet and steadfast, like roots growing deep under the soil. They face storms in silence, process their pain in solitude, and then re-emerge stronger, not out of pride, but out of purpose. They can transform into completely different people when pursuing their passion. Normally calm and composed, they can become almost fiery when they talk about something they truly believe in, a cause, a project, or a dream. Their energy becomes magnetic, their voice filled with conviction, and their eyes light up with purpose. People who've known them for years are sometimes startled by the depth of this transformation. It's as if their soul steps forward and takes over. When they're inspired, they channel something beyond themselves, and it's impossible not to feel it. INFJs can feel nostalgia for moments that haven't even happened yet. They can visualize the future so vividly that they feel the emotions of it in the present. It's why they sometimes cry at the thought of something beautiful that hasn't even occurred, or feel deep sadness about parting ways long before the goodbye actually comes. This strange emotional foresight is part of their intuition, a sensitivity to time and meaning that others rarely understand. They live not just in the now, but in a flow of past, present, and future feelings, all at once. People are also shocked by how INFJs forgive deeply, but never forget. They can release grudges from their heart, pray for the good of someone who hurt them, and genuinely wish them peace. But they don't erase the lesson. Once trust is broken, they adjust quietly. They may still smile and offer kindness, but the invisible wall remains. It's not vengeance, it's wisdom. They learn from pain, and those lessons stay with them forever. INFJs can sense purpose in everything, even in the most ordinary or painful experiences. They can find meaning in heartbreak, beauty in struggle, and divine timing in delay. To an INFJ, nothing is random. Every encounter, every setback, every silence carries a message. They live as if the universe speaks in symbols, and they are constantly decoding them. This spiritual awareness gives them an almost prophetic quality that draws others in and changes how they see life. They can be both incredibly selfless and quietly rebellious at the same time. They often appear compliant, respectful, and cooperative on the surface, but inside, they're fiercely independent thinkers who refuse to be controlled by systems or expectations that conflict with their inner truth. INFJs can play along, smiling politely, while inwardly dismantling entire belief systems they find hypocritical. They'll nod during a conversation, making you feel heard, but later you realize they never actually agreed. They were just protecting your peace. Their rebellion isn't loud. It's subtle, psychological, and deeply personal. They challenge norms not through confrontation, but through silent nonconformity, choosing to live differently, think deeply, and stay loyal to their conscience, even when everyone else follows the crowd. INFJs can make major life decisions based on intuition alone, and somehow, they end up being right. They might suddenly quit a job, move to another city, in a relationship, or start a completely new project without logical explanation. To outsiders, it looks impulsive or irrational, but to the INFJ, it's clarity. They don't act out of recklessness. They act out of knowing. Their intuition works like an inner compass that detects misalignment long before the mind can articulate it. Later, when everything unfolds exactly as they foresaw, people are left astonished at how accurately their gut predicted reality. It's not magic. It's the result of their subconscious processing vast emotional and environmental data, producing insights that feel like divine whispers. They can make others feel deeply loved without saying much. They might send a message at the exact moment you're feeling down, or remember your favorite snack, or simply sit in silence with you when you can't talk. Their love is expressed through timing, presence, and insight rather than grand gestures. They notice the things you don't say, and they respond to those unspoken needs with tenderness. Their love language is understanding, and that alone can break people open in ways they never expected. They might not flaunt their talents, but when they do express themselves, through writing, art, music, or ideas, it's profound. Their creations carry emotion, symbolism, and layers of meaning that stay with you long after you've experienced them. INFJs often use creativity as a secret outlet to process what words can't. Behind that calm exterior, they might be composing poetry that captures the human soul, painting scenes that look like dreams, or designing ideas that can shift perspectives. The surprise comes when people realize the depth of brilliance hiding behind their quietness. Because INFJs rarely announce their gifts, they reveal them when the world is ready. They can disappear from social circles, friendships, or entire environments, and when they return, they've transformed completely. They go through silent seasons of metamorphosis. While others are busy proving themselves, INFJs withdraw to shed old versions of who they were. During these periods, they dive into introspection, learning, and healing. When they emerge, they are calmer, wiser, more purposeful, and often unrecognizable in the best way. People are left wondering how someone could evolve so profoundly without external help or applause. But transformation is the INFJ's quiet superpower. They don't chase change, they become it. If you want to truly understand yourself and unlock your full potential as an INFJ, check out the INFJ Mastery Course today. The link is in the description of this video.